Otherwise, you are in trouble. So Dilip is logged in online today. But let's see what you guys do. So what questions you guys have? Let's talk about any homework items or anything else, right? Anybody wants to, no question, then I can move on to the new topic.
Oh,
You
I have that
that.
bug cycle with
Okay,
DevOps, that one, and I want to know like how to check the XML is right in the browser.
okay,
That's the second one.
all right. So let me start with the easy thing. Okay, so let's talk about the XML part, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is, let me just go and open a notepad. XML you can write in Notepad, or you can download a Notepad plus.
I did in Notepad.
Yeah.
Plus, plus.
So
Easy in
that's
Notepad.
easy. It shows you nice little format as well, and
Oh, Notepad, Notepad plus.
Plus, plus. Okay, but I'm just writing it in Notepad.
I did the same.
Okay. And I think that the example that Dilip showed is part of the Notepad.
Yeah.
We need to open anything in the Notepad plus.
So what's the difference between both?
It's just a software, different software. That's all.
Oh,
Notepad plus.
I have I think Reddit SQL, sorry, no, not SQL, XML
Okay,
in my I open in my browser.
okay.
I can show my screen if you want, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Share your screen. Let's talk about it. Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing. Give me a second.
Right, sir.
Yeah, go ahead and share.
So, just a minute. This is JSON. I wanted to make sure I'm doing right or wrong, but I'll show you my screen. Another one. Okay. Just a minute, sir. Sorry. This is I did in like.
Okay, scroll up all the way. Can you scroll up all the way?
Right, sir. Just a minute. Yep. This is just a minute.
Yeah, we can see it. This is. So what you have is places, right? That's kind of a root node for him. And then you have a place tag. And within the place tag, he has a name, country, month, and year. Those 4 items, 4 tags. And then he has site, which is again netted tags. And within site, he has the site, he can repeat. Now, he's able to open here, so everything is fine. Structure wise, it looks good to me. But your structure may be different.
So
Okay. So
my
you
question is, while he is doing sites, can we, I did with commas like Times Square, comma, Statue of Liberty.
Which is fine,
I know.
fine. Yeah, it depends on the format that you are picking, right? But this one is also good. He's repeating the site.
I did, yeah, like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
like
1, 2, 3.
That is like presentable, I think.
Yeah, it's presentable. I mean, again, it's up to, we did not tell you how you can write it.
Yeah.
As long as you have name, country, month, year, and site visited, then you're good. And is everybody able to open? Is here?
Sorry?
Are you guys able to open in the browser?
Yeah.
I don't know how to
No.
do it.
You just have to run.
You just have to, so, Nitin, you can stop sharing. I think
Sir,
this is good.
sir, I have one question. That's why I shared my screen.
Yes, go ahead.
In JSON, I tried to open and it is open like that. I'm not sure I'm doing right or wrong. Can you please check? Sir?
The JSON will open like this, only.
Oh, Jason, okay.
Yeah,
let's not
it
be confused.
There is no formatting for
Oh, yeah,
browser.
so confused.
So,
Yeah.
so my formatting is looks right, or I'm doing any mistakes, sir?
No, it looks good, because you have the site and then you have the array of the sites, which is perfectly fine. Okay,
Right, sir. Thank you so
So you-
much, sir.
it looks good.
Right, sir. I'm stopping sharing, sir. Thanks.
Okay, so let me go and share my screen and let's just quickly take a look at it. So here is, I'm just opening a brand new notepad. Okay, and here you need the XML processor. So let me just get the tag here. Then you have the site, what is it, places,
Places, yeah. Places visited.
places visited, oh, these are your tags, you can define your own. tags.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm just putting places here, so this is a root node, so make sure you close it out and then. And then you have place. And within place, you can have a name, slash name. And then you have, let's say New York.
Country.
So I'm just gonna copy and paste it here. That's easier for me. Country. What's the year?
Then year, then
Yeah.
month. Number of people.
And then you have month. Okay, and then what Nitin had is the sites,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Then how many
How many
members?
family are friends? How many friends?
Yeah, so. Total, I'm just putting total, I'm just saying 5 people.
Yeah.
Sites and then, what else?
That's it.
That's it, right?
That's
So that's all you had it here. Now you can repeat the whole thing. For different site. Now I'm formatting here, but there is no real significance, okay? It's just for the readability purpose. So I can just take I'm missing the place tag. Okay, so now I can repeat the same thing. What second? This is Columbus. Country USA. Year 2012, 2022, September. January.
It doesn't matter with the space and all.
Doesn't matter. Now, important part is you have to save it as a XML file. Okay, so you have to say save as. And then you make sure you select all files. Okay, this will need to be all files and then say places.xml.
So same.
Save as, okay, then a browser will try to interpret as XML.
I think in the first line, you didn't put the question mark at the last.
Or here, is that how it is?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Let's find out. What is the symbol in yours? Check it. So is that starts with that question mark?
But does XML validate that one, the first one? only?
Yeah, because that line will be validated. Let's see, open it, see what happens.
Question mark and then the bracket.
Here,
Yeah. That's right.
this is how it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
started with the question mark, so it should be end with the question mark.
End with the question.
I didn't.
No, that question mark and then write it.
Like this.
It's an XML directive, Herschel, so you can copy it directly from places.
I just copied it from those.
Okay. So the book has it, the books, not the places, book.
Okay, I'm just gonna copy it because it's
Yeah,
see.
just open with Notepad and it should be. The other thing I noticed is sites should have site visits instead of the number of people, right? So that's the other thing.
Here.
Yeah,
you see.
site
Number-
should be the whatever the sites they did it. Like, let's say if it's Columbus, we can say it's
Okay,
the Sauter Mile,
right, right.
OSU, those kind of things.
Okay, so total, and then you have the actual site.
Actual sites, yeah.
This
Okay,
is
gotcha.
it. The science is-
So I can put this tag outside as well, right?
Yeah, it
Here.
needs to be out, yeah. It's not
I
part
can-
of the site, yeah. The sites are
Right.
different, yeah.
Okay, and then here,
Whatever
Site,
places.
yep.
you-
so I'm
You
just
can
gonna
put
say site,
spaces.
and then you can repeat it like Nitin, all those things, or just put it one place is ABC, XYZ, XYZ, something like that, right? Same, I can put it here or I can leave it empty. Okay, it just doesn't matter. So let me come here, places. And I'll go and try to open in the browser. Google Chrome. Right, so it shows up formatted, right? Because it's XML file, browser will try to interpret it as XML and it will show up formatted file. Now here you see there is no tag here. So there is empty tag. But here we have other things. Yeah.
I tried putting both month and year together. It was keep on saying error because there should not be outside the bracket. It was keep on showing me the error. I was trying to put month
No,
and year.
Oh, I see.
And here. This space.
Give the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was keep on.
I mean, you might have error because of the syntax and the nesting of the tags. If you try to do that, because you have
Yes.
to close.
So sometimes also if you're putting a special character which acts as a directive, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah, I
But-
put the unbold. She didn't put the unbold.
I
I
see.
put the unbold. That's it.
But
Yeah.
again, right, this is a flexible format, so you can have your own tags and just the nesting part is very important. You nest it properly. Make sure you close out the-
Harshal, I'm unable to open it in the browser because I'm not getting that option to open in the Explorer or Chrome browser.
So Sasmita, send me that your XML in the email. I can take a look at it and then fix it and response back.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm sorry, Marcel, I didn't get it.
You didn't get what part?
How to do this.
So
I'm so
what I
sorry.
did is here, right,
I'm
is
so
I
sorry.
just open a browser, sorry, Notepad, and I just typed in manually everything here, right? So you need to have the root element, which is places here,
Got those.
right? And then I have one place that I visited, right? You need to have this directive at the top.
That one
Okay.
I got it, but how to open in the browser, I didn't get it.
Oh,
part.
that part, okay.
Yeah.
So you right
but
click
this
on it.
one I got it, XML, I know that, how to do it, but how to open it in the browser. So check it.
Right.
You right click on it,
Uh-huh.
right? Right click on the file,
Uh-huh.
open with, and then just select Google
Oh,
Chrome or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
Are
it.
you using MacBook though?
Yes.
Oh, you are using Mac, okay.
Okay, so you can open Safari and then file open and you can browse, navigate to wherever you've stored it and open it.
Or if you have something, you can just drag and drop the file on it and it will open. That's the easiest thing,
Thank you.
alright? Just a housekeeping item. Our restroom is out of order today, okay? So if you need to go, I mean, you might have to go somewhere like a Tim Horton or something nearby. Unfortunately, other offices are closed, so. Just for letting you guys know, and we'll take a little bit more break. Okay, if we need. Okay, so everybody good with this part? All right,
So about the home, is that the homework?
yeah, this is the homework we were talking about yesterday's.
So, I tried to like type it into like a document.
Yeah,
I couldn't, so I just found like an empty.
I'm just doing it in Notepad here, right? This is a Notepad,
but
so, yeah. Yep, and just type in manually, right here.
I typed it in like a different like web browser.
You are using Mac again, right? So you Notepad plus is the best thing. You can type it in and then put that in.
You said Notepad what?
No, Notepad. I don't know what text editor you have. Yes. All right. Okay. All right, so let's move on, right? Hopefully everybody has it. Eric, did you get it? Okay. I can send you in the email, but again, everybody is gonna be different. Okay, so I want you to practice, make sure you are able to open it in the so forth. Important part is save it as a .xml file. Okay, then only it will open. Otherwise, it will not open. Okay, any other question on anything else? Any other homework part? No. JSON should be similar, right? You just need to practice the tags because it doesn't open in Excel like browser. It will be showing text.
That's our question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be showing text.
I just spent like 4 hours to do it.
Because the problem is those curly brackets and the square, if you forget that, then.
Probably Xml took that.
Right.
I used to convert Xml.
Well, you can do it. I mean, there are tools available, but I would like you to write.
No, it's
that
better to
so that
write.
you understand the syntax.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
And that. Okay. All right, so I thought there was another question as well. Anything on the DevOps part that we talked about?
That.
Okay, so let me just show you quickly. Go back to
Otherwise, we
DevOps.
can do it at the end. If you are going to.
No, let me just, while we are discussing, right? So let's just go through it quickly. It won't take much time. So you guys remember your login, right? DevOps.
First one, I have a question. This is for 30 days only the project or is forever we can use it?
No,
after
you can
we-
use it forever.
Oh,
Yeah, this part is you can use it forever.
You have the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah, it's all caps italics.
Which one?
So italic students and italics all capital. Okay, so I'm on my project DevOps, right? Let me log in here. Okay. Let me go to the one slide here. So hopefully that helps. Here. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm gonna go back to this slide here. All right, doing some weird things. Let's see. Okay, this particular slide. So when we talk about the DevOps, right? So you guys understand the product backlog? What is product backlog? Running list of requirements, right? Understand the sprint backlog,
Yes.
right? So we saw that, the sprint backlog, which is nothing but the stories that you are working on that particular sprint, which is a 2 to 3 weeks sprint, right? Every week, every two weeks or 3 weeks. Any story that you pull in, that will become part of the sprint backlog. Now, as part of your daily activities in the Scrum or Agile process, you have a daily Scrum meeting, which happens typically generally at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever team agrees on the timing. Okay, and it's a 15-minute meeting. And in that meeting, generally what they do is they review where everybody is. Everybody reports their own progress. I'm working on this particular story and I'm done. QA says, QA, if they if they found any bugs or anything, they will say, hey, this bug is there on the board, who is taking care of it? Basically. And the developer will say, oh, I have free time, let me take a look at it by end of the day, I will fix it. So that it will be ready for testing maybe tomorrow. Okay, so everything is on the board. So when I go back here, when I say on the board, so now let me go back here. No, it's my the code. So this is my board. Okay, and if the bug is created, it should be listed right here. Okay, so I think I have a bug created here.
Yeah,
So let me see.
The loan counter calculator.
Right. Yep. So you should see the, I don't have any bugs in mind, but otherwise you will see right on the board here. Okay, so it's a listed, oh, there is one here, right? Loan calculator.
Oh, it will go over there.
So, right, it's a bug is here, and every 9 o'clock meeting, everybody, developer will say, hey, this is important bug, let me fix it. So where is available, they will move the bug to from new to in progress or some other status.
Yeah.
Here, we don't have all the statuses configured, but you can configure pretty much complete SDLC statuses. So new, then you have design, you have whatever the next status would be, implementation, testing, all different status, you're gonna see it on the board. Here.
Will not see that approved, committed and. those-
No, you will not see that.
Okay.
Okay, you will not see that generally. They will follow SDLC statuses, kind of like what we have over there in the back. You see that? That's a Scrum board.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's the status we follow generally.
Okay.
Okay, so as you move through the cycle, it was ready for testing, and then you test it again.
So
Because it will
developer
come
is
back.
going to move the bug to the like
Yeah.
active or something like that, right?
Not active, they will say, oh, I'm doing the implementation for the bug. Design or implementation,
Okay.
because they need to research it, what's wrong with it. Then they need to fix it, we actually do the coding part. And then they will say ready for testing. So then you on daily Scrum meeting, next day, if it's ready for testing, then you will say, oh, this is ready for testing, let me go do the test again. Cycle 2. So first time you found the bug, second time you are testing again, make sure it's fixed. If it's not fixed,
assigned to your team, then you can do it.
not assigned to you, so generally, I mean, the Scrum meetings, Scrum teams, which are smaller teams,
Uh-huh.
up to like a 10 max people. So you are a QA, you will be working with all different developers.
Uh-huh.
So you will take care of it yourself. Everybody is saying, oh, I have time, let me go and take it in my plate and I'll get it done. So nobody said, oh, you go and work on it or you go and work on it.
Oh, okay.
It's a self-running team. That's the whole idea behind Agile. So everybody takes responsibility for getting the work done. in the waterfall world, they might assign, like lead might say, oh, you change, you do this, you do this, you do this. In the agile world, everybody is responsible for getting the work done themselves.
Okay.
Okay, now if you are not working, yes, that's where somebody like a scrum master or somebody else comes in the picture, say, hey, why are you not getting it done and so forth. Okay. But it's a self-managed team. That's the idea. And that's pretty much it. I mean, so once you are done with the bug, you close out the bug, it's gone, and then all the stories to come to all the test cases are tested for the story, then you move the story to done column. So you see the done column here?
Yeah.
Everything is good, then I can move the story to done. That story is implemented fully.
So that done part, who is doing it? The developer doing
Team,
it? or
no, team.
Team is doing it.
So you say, I'm done with the testing,
Uh-huh.
then the user comes in, right? The user will say, oh, I'm done with the testing too. And then finally team say on Thursday or Friday, they will move the story to the done column. It's implemented.
Oh.
So, who exactly going to? You say-
Business users, stakeholder.
So like you talking about like the ISO and just do this.
No, so here, so if we go back here. So input from executive team, stakeholder, customers, user, right? Who you are collecting the requirements from. They will actually have to test it, right? Basically, hey, this feature is working for us or
That means who is going to use
who is
it?
going to be ultimately users from the
So
system.
like they're not part of the business, they're like outside.
No, they can be part of the team. Team might include maybe one or two business users. as well.
That's like under the UAT test.
Yeah, UAT
The
test.
user-
It is UAT
Yeah.
test. User acceptance.
So like they're like, they have a separate job than us.
Yeah, they are focused on getting the business business done, right? Our people,
Okay, okay.
Maybe they are reaching out, they are sales people, right? But then they have to test the system, make sure it works, right? So,
Then last question about this.
Yeah.
So, the bug is found, so who is going to decide how it's going to impact, like, how critical is it? Is it high,
as a
low?
team, you decide.
So team is going to decide, right?
Yep, team is it, but you mark it as a high or high, medium, low type of thing.
Uh-huh.
If you can't execute any of your test cases,
It's
if the login doesn't work, what you gonna do?
critical.
Then you mark it as a critical, hey, please fix this bug so that I can continue my testing. Okay, so you mark that, but then team decides, hey, there are workarounds, so you can still move forward with other test cases. Then they say, okay, we'll fix it maybe after a couple of weeks. We have other tasks to do, so. Okay, but it's a more of a collaboration effort, okay? It's not like somebody's telling, hey, go get it done. Okay, so that's the process we generally follow.
And if we go to the project section, there are 3 dots in the side, right? So if I keep the cursor over there, it's showing me run test, then edit title, I understand that, remove test, I understand. Reset to active, what's that, how it works over here?
Reset to active. All right, let's see what happens.
Then test it again, that means?
Yeah. That
Oh.
means it's got rid of the status here, right? So what our failed status was, it's reset the status to not executed or something.
That means do it again, right?
Yeah, do it again. Yeah.
Oh. Then block test, fail test, block test.
Yeah, block means, if this is blocked, that means some issue is there and I cannot execute this test. So I'm
Oh.
blocked as a tester.
So it will not be bug.
No, you might have a different bug created that is blocking all the test cases. If you can't log in our flow, that means you mark the login test as a and then you mark this test as a block because of the other bug that you have.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Means you're blocking only one of those, right?
No, you have all 4 blocked. I mean, you can have all 4 test cases blocked. If you can't log in, can you do anything? No, you cannot, right? Yeah. So you just marked as a block test. Yeah.
these are silly questions, but I saw.
Yeah, it makes
part-
sense. Yeah, I mean, no question is a bad question, right? So, because the failed tests, I think these are remove tests, you can remove it as well. And yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. well,
Do we write anything on the committed box? I guess it's committed.
Committed, I mean, again, the statuses are not reflective of the SDLC here, right? Generally, you will see the status that is like based on the SDLC in this type of tools.
So that will be implemented.
Yeah, so starting with the planning, design, implementing, or whatever, the implementation, testing, UAT, and then done. At the end, it would be done. The status. So I would ignore the status here. Okay,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
sure. All right, everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me close out.
Do you write the test scripts on there too?
What is it?
Do you write the test scripts on there? The DevOps?
Test script, these are test cases, right?
So the test case is a test script.
Yeah, it's a test script, yeah. Yep. That's what it is. Now, in terms of the automation, you call that as a test script as well, but it's automation test script. This one is a manual test script or test case. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's move on. Okay, so let's dive into today's topic. Okay, close few things here. All right, the homework part, I'm gonna close it. Okay. All right, so let's talk about today's topic, see what we have. Yes, it's there. So we talked yesterday about the XML and JSON. Right? So let's talk a little bit about the API test. Okay. And what it is and how you can do the API testing. So we will understand what is API, what are web services, what are different protocols for the web services, and how you can go about testing. And then finally, understand the tools that are used for the testing. Again, this is still manual testing. Okay, there is no automation for API testing. So whatever we are going to talk today is all manual testing.
So, but it's so far we learn, we use it for manual testing.
Right now, the thing is automated here. This is all part of the manual testing that you have learned so far. We haven't talked about any automation. Including the DevOps tools, they are all life cycle management tools, nothing to do with automation.
Which one is more complicated, manual or automation?
So you will, how about you will answer that after we talk to automation? Yeah.
Different,
Again, it's a subjective, right? Subjective terms.
Yeah.
Like my mind, so it's harder actually of my mind.
But think about, can you do automation if you don't know how to do manual testing?
this is the basic, you need to know the basics, then go for the,
Yeah.
yes.
Right? So you can't do automation without knowing the manual. You have to master the manual testing skill.
Your basic need to be strong, then you can build other stuff.
Right. So let's talk about today's topic. Okay. So understand high level overview of the web service install, also UI and Postman. We introduced Postman as well. So we just haven't updated the slide here. And some hands on.
Then what is REST? REST?
Yeah. So we'll talk.
Correct.
We'll check. Okay. So what is API? Right. So I mean, it's a complex definition here. I'll let you guys read it. Spend a minute on this slide here. See if you can figure it out. What is API? Okay. It's the application programming interface.
Looks like integration between two applications.
That is correct. It is used for talking to two different applications among the communicating between two different applications. So it's not a human to human communication, it's a system to system communication. Okay. Now, when we talk about system to system communication, so it's just like if I speak English and somebody else speaks English, then they can talk, right? So you need something common between these systems so they can communicate. Just like humans, I mean, so APIs are used for communicating between systems. Now, again, when we talk about communicating, right? So there is a standard vocabulary, standard protocols, and those things that comes in the picture. When we say, so if I have RFlow, which is built on .NET technology, right? And there is somebody else, the banking system. Maybe that does a little bit loan processing, and I need to some data from RFlow to the banking system. How would they communicate if the banking system is written in the Java program? So it's a two different set of technologies. So the Java and .NET, they don't communicate well, right? So there are certain standards needs to be built as part of the communication protocol, and that's where the APIs comes in the picture. Okay, so let's talk about. I think.
What's that mean? Like .NET
Yeah,
doesn't go with Java means what?
Yeah, it's a different technology, right? So let me draw a picture here. Maybe. So I think maybe I might have a slide here. Give me a second. Let me pull that up. I'm just gonna pull up the SDLC. I think you guys have this slides. Okay, let's take a look at this particular example here. Okay. So RFlow, we have RFlow, right? And we have the assume that loan calculation part that we have built. And somebody in India wants to use the same loan calculator, the functionality that we have built, right? The way they communicate or API works is RFlow will build a web service. Now, do you guys remember what a service is?
Yes.
It's somebody provides a service basically to somebody else. It's like a haircut, right? You go to the haircut guy and you pay some money for it, and then they will provide you service. Same thing, RFlow can do the same thing in the digital world. They can create a service which is accessible over the internet to anywhere in the world. Okay, and if somebody else wants to use that same loan calculator, then they need to basically they can integrate to the web service by a standard way. Okay, so there are different protocols available for this integration or API. But essentially, what happens here is this software. Let's say they want to use it, so they will call the web service. So they will send a request. Now, loan calculator. What's the input for the loan calculator? What is the input for the loan calculator?
Monthly
The loan amount, right?
Monthly
So
loan
if you
amount.
input loan amount, you are getting monthly payment. What calculation is defined is doesn't matter, right?
Yes.
Whatever is agreed upon. The same thing, this software can send basically a request or call the web service, send the input for the loan amount. And the loan calculator service will say, okay, I'm gonna send you some response back and it will include the monthly payment. Okay, and that happens over the internet, basically. Now, generally, the request and those exchange can happen in XML or can happen in the JSON format. Okay,
Means the request going and coming back, that
Yes, that is correct. So this can be XML. Okay, this software can originate the request in XML. They will send XML data, and this loan calculator can send the information like monthly payment in XML format. Okay, or depending on how the service is written. Okay, if it's written using protocol based on the protocol, it can be JSON exchange as well. Okay, and the information goes back in the JSON. So this is how generally the API works. You send some information to the service, and service will send you response back, request response. Okay. Now we'll talk about what the XML will look like, and what is the format for JSON and so forth. Okay. Now XML. So there are two different protocols for web service, building the web service. Okay. So first protocol is a SOAP based service. So it's a standard because these two software needs to communicate to each other in a standard format. They can write the web service in a SOAP based protocol, so they can exchange data in the XML format. There is a different protocol called REST, which allows you to exchange data in XML or JSON. Okay, SOAP-based service is always XML. REST-based service is XML or JSON.
SOAP is always XML.
SOAP is a simple object access protocol. It's a protocol for communication between two systems. It's a standard. Now you don't worry about from technical standpoint because you are not writing the services, right? You just understand, hey, if it's a SOAP-based service, I need to send the data and will receive data back in the XML. If it's a REST-based service, you can send data in the XML and you need to, or JSON, and then depending on how they are responding, you will get it either format. Okay.
So in REST, we can do XML, but we can also get return back JSON.
Yeah, JSON. Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
either one.
Yeah, yeah. No, if you send data in XML, then you will get it in XML.
Okay.
If you send data in JSON, then you will get it back in the JSON format.
But you have
REST,
option to do both.
yeah,
at the same time.
REST supports both formats. SOAP supports only XML.
So other programming.
What is it?
I said, no.
I mean, so this one can be right, .NET, C#. So this service can be written in Java, .NET, Python, doesn't matter. As a tester, you do not care what technology is written in or how it's written in. All you care about, hey, how can I test it? How can I make sure whatever logic they have built for the service works? So if it's a loan calculator service, you are sending input, right? And you are validating, hey, what result I get back, right? That's all you care from the testing standpoint.
Then we have to write down the XML and, right?
Well, things get complex, but that's why we have tools like SOAP UI and those tools. So that it makes your life a lot easier.
Okay.
So you don't worry about what goes in or how you create the XML and so forth. Okay. Because there are other things that happens in the format for the SOAP and REST. So generally, let me explain a little bit further what is really in the SOAP request, right? Because when you send in XML here, what goes in the packet over the internet? Okay, let me just show you quickly here. So give me a second. Okay, so you guys remember that TML? What are the two main components of that TML format? Header and body, right? So you have a header and body. Okay, I'm talking about SOAP request now. Okay, so format. So SOAP has an envelope, right? So you are sending something in the envelope. Think it that like a mail, right? So you are putting it in a mail. It's more like an envelope, and then you are writing on top of it the address, right? So there's one part, and then the message is actually within the body, so inside the envelope. Same concept applies for the SOAP request. So you have a header which talks about where it needs to go and whatever needs to happen. But the body will contain what is the message, what is my input data that goes into the SOAP request. Okay, and whenever it comes back from the XML in the XML format, again it's the same thing. You will have a header and the body, and you read the body. So when I'm sending the request, I would put the load amount as part of my body message. When the response comes back from the software, the calculator web service, I need to look into that and what is my monthly payment in the body. Okay, so that's the concept, header and body. Now, if you look write manually, yes, you have to understand create the XML, create the body, header, and all those things, but the tool makes life a lot easier. Okay, and I'll show you how easy it is. But I just wanted to understand the concept too. Okay, that's much.
The header is the address and body is what's
Header can be anything, right? It's you write the address, it says, okay, open by this, there might be some security things and so forth, but you don't worry about that it has much for the header part. Body is the one, that's where you are putting your information in. Because it needs to go to another software and then it interprets it, sends you response back. Again, you look at the body, say, okay, did I receive the right data or not? Is the calculation working or not? Okay. Those things.
So the user request will be always in IP or URL, right? To the web service?
User request.
Yes. If somebody want to use a web service, like the loan calculator, he need to send something, right, to get the data. So it will be URL and IP, or it is the whole XML file we are sending?
No, so you need to know where is this service, right? Okay, so let's go back here. Now you need to know the address of the service, right? Where is this service located? Without that, you cannot do, just like a website. You have web application running, but you need to know the URL. So in order to test this, you need to know where this service is located, right? And then the data is part I'm talking about that goes in the request and it comes back from the response. Now header might have some encryption information, there are a bunch of things that goes in, security information and so forth. But as I said, you will not do manual those things. Okay, because tool will take care of some of the things for you. Is that what you were asking, Jasmita?
Yeah, I just want to know how the user is providing the request. It is.
Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that, right? But conceptually, you guys understood, right? What happens here? Okay. So let's talk about what is a web service? It's a service provided over web, and since there is a service, they can charge the money for it. So every transaction, so like for credit card processing, right? Bank charge, so there is a 2% fees they charge for those things. For every transaction, they might charge some amount of money as right? It's nothing is free. It's a service, just like any other service, they charge money. Okay. But again, it's used for between the application to exchange the data, right? Because we are sending data and receiving data. We are querying some certain things, it's sending us back some information. Okay. Now there are two types of services. One is a SOAP based and one is a REST. Again, you don't have to understand internal, but SOAP based, it's always XML. REST can be JSON or XML. Those are the two different things. And I'll tell you how you can test this and we will. Now, SOAP based service, since it's XML based, right? Plus, it's a very old protocol. Old protocol meaning when they started, when the internet came in, right, back in 90s, or maybe earlier. This type of services started showing up in the late 90s. Okay, And folks were writing, the SOAP protocol came in at the time. So SOAP-based service has a document called wisdom. Okay, which describes what are the different operations or the services provided through the SOAP-based service. So anybody who wants to take a look at it, what are the different things they can do with the service? The wisdom document describes that. Okay, and it's available on the internet. Okay, accessible over the internet. And then also what the wisdom document looks like. It's nothing but a description of the service, what this service is supposed to do, what are the operations, and what are the things available through the service. Now, REST-based service, which came in the maybe 10 years ago, getting very popular at the time. It doesn't have visual type of document, but you can create something and put it out on the internet. In the Swagger or some other format. Okay. So just remember that visual is for SOAP, and REST has something different.
So
Okay.
who makes this WSDL? Like, is the provider is making it and putting it in the way?
No, it's automatically generated.
Oh,
Automatically generated. If it's a SOAP-based service, then you can query that information right away. So it's part of the definition of the SOAP service. All SOAP service will automatically generate visual document. Okay. So nobody's writing the code for it. It's part of when they create the SOAP-based service, it will automatically generate the wisdom and provide to the whoever wants to read the wisdom.
so how to pronounce that?
Wisdom,
Wisdom?
WSDL. Yes. Web service description language. It's nothing but XML. Okay, it's a whole complete XML, and I'll show you what the wisdom looks like. Okay, but just remember this terminology now. Okay, so that brings us to the actual service. So let me show you one quick simple service here. And see if we can
So wisdom that like a record, it's stored somewhere like that.
no, it's not stored, it's generated based on the service they have deployed in the browser, basically on the server. It's automatically generates the wisdom from there. So let's talk about one quick service. Okay, so and every service has a URL, right?
Yes.
Because I need to know where this service is, right? So if I go back to my diagram here, I need to know where this service is located in the world. So it always have a URL, which is nothing but a unique address for the service, right? Because it's on the internet. So, okay, so I have this service. It's a calculator service, right? Calculator meaning I have some addition operation, I have some deletion, multiplication, just like calculator. Okay. This is the URL for the service. Now, when I talk about, let's take a look at the wisdom. What it has. Okay. So I'm just gonna say question mark and I'll type it in wisdom.
Oh.
Any service that you do, you can access the wisdom, the definition like this.
So just do the URL and question mark and.
Question mark wisdom. Yeah, so it will generate the wisdom for you and show you right there. Okay. All right, so now as I said, it's XML document. And it can get really complex. Okay. So this is again, you don't need to understand all these things because tools are there for you. But if you understand, hey, that's better.
So what is help to a developer or somebody who is accessing this? Why is getting generated for some use? What are the-
Yeah, because developers need to know how I can integrate this service into my code. So the developer
It's
at
a
this
lot.
software company,
It's a lot.
that's why they get paid more, right? So at this company, they want to integrate this service.
Yeah.
So they have to write some code here, right? Code here. So they will say, oh, where's the wisdom? And they will start writing code in .NET, C#, Python, whatever they have. And they will start integrating. So first thing they will do is, hey, where's the wisdom? So that I can understand what operations I can call from my software one program. It's and do the addition multiplication in this particular software. Okay, so
Okay.
What's the difference between the window and F12?
I didn't get it. What's the last part?
I said, so what's the difference between putting the question mark window at the end of the address and hitting F12 on the keyboard? What's the difference between both of those?
F12 is different. I mean, it's a for computer, right? You're talking about.
So like,
I don't know what the F12 does on Mac. I can tell you. Yeah, it's the F12 it's a hardware thing. It can be different thing on Windows versus Mac. But the visual is a definition. Okay, it's a definition for this soap-based service. That describes what is included as part of the service, what operations are there, and how I can integrate the service into my software. Okay, so that's what it says. Now, the easiest thing for the so what it has is there are operations. Okay, it's a definition, right? So if I go and find, let me search for it, operation. Okay, so I can see there is an add operation. It says add. I can see subtract, multiply, divide. So there are 4 different types of operation available here. Operations are what? These are functions, right? Functions. So if somebody integrates this service, they can call this function and they can do calculation. So if I pass in 4 plus 4 and send that information to this service, then I should expect 8 back, right? So that's what it is. Similar to subtract, multiply, divide. Okay, so first thing is operation. What are the functions that are exposed by this service? Okay. The second part, what is the format of data exchange? What is the input for add and subtract, right? So let's take a look at the add input, because I need to provide some input. Remember, Dilip was talking about yesterday, begin and end program, and we have some type of input and you expect some type of output, right? That's exactly what this one is. So now I need to know what is the input for add operation. So let me see the add. I'm just going to search on add here and see if I can find the message for the. So here I see the add soap in, and it's a part and add soap out. So there are 2 messages. One is going in, one is going out. Now, what is actually that goes in, right? That's what I'm interested in. So now I come here, add. Okay, so this is element name add. Now it has 2 things, int A and int B. So that's what is going in. What is coming out? The response. So this is add, but this is the response. So this is response meaning this is the response. This is what is going out, XML response. Okay, so that's what is going out here. So I can see here response, and it's a result, and it's an integer. Integer meaning numbers. Okay, so you need to get familiar with the type. Integer, string, those are common types we talked yesterday. Okay, so the same way you can see subtract response. Again, you have 2 values you are sending in and 1 value coming out, result. Same thing, multiply here and 1 value and this thing.
So response is the output.
Yeah, response is the output. Just like you press on the output, you press input that value, click submit, it shows you response, right? Right. So same thing. But again, service does not have this is used for system to system communication. Okay, so there is no graphical user interface for you. Here you are sending in XML and expecting XML back. Okay, so that's how you can test it. So is everybody good with this? All right. So let's see. Now this thing looks complex, right? So I mean, it's a lot of things. I mean, you can try to see what it is, interpret it. But as I said, operation. Then you have inputs, outputs, all those things. But easy way, we'll take the easy route. Okay.
But
So I'm
if you
gonna
go
open
line
the-
by line, we get it,
Yeah.
but it's a lot.
Yeah. So that's why we have SOAP UI, right? Name it says SOAP UI. So for web service testing, or the SOAP-based service testing, you can use SOAP UI. That's how the name came in, because we had the SOAP UI is a very old tool. And it was built specifically for SOAP-based services. They do support REST-based services as well for testing. But names again says SOAP UI, SOAP-based service testing, okay? But anyway, so I'm gonna open that tool here and see how we can make it work. Okay, for first time, looks like it takes some time. All right, I'm gonna close that window. So let's take a look at it, what we have in the tool. Can close all these things. Okay, so first time when you open, it will be empty, nothing for you, right? So here you have SOAP-based service, you can test REST-based service, you can do some other stuff, but this is the important part, right? Because we are testing SOAP-based service. So I'm gonna click on SOAP. It says create a new SOAP project. So again, all these tools, we'll talk this week and next week. I mean, we'll have some type of project where you can create multiple requests. It's just to organize the information. Okay, nothing else. But let's create a SOAP-based project. Okay, as soon as I click on that, it asks me project name and where is my visitor. What is that I'm testing? So I'm gonna copy and paste that visitor URL right there. Now here it says create sample request for all operations, asking question. Right? So what it means, we have 4 operations, add, update, subtract, whatever, right? It will create a sample test request when I hit on OK. So it automatically creates something for you. Okay, so you are not creating things from scratch. And what it will do is it will read this window and puts in the project, and it presents you in a nice format.
Wow.
Okay, so you will see, right? So it does all the work for you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Smart.
okay, so now I'm gonna click OK. So it went to the side, read the window, and see it's a nice format here on the left side. So it says add, divide, multiply, subtract. We saw four operations, right? Now, one thing you will notice, you will see calculator SOAP 1, 2. These are different protocols supported by the service. So their SOAP has like a SOAP 1.1, 1.2, 1.0, and 1.2 versions. It's the same operation, but you can test for both protocols if you need. Okay, but we'll just stick with one. Operations is set. Okay, whether you test it here, this operation or this operation, they both are same.
Okay.
Because it will go to the site and execute the code and get you result back.
So you said the second one is just like
It's a communication protocol, 2 different versions.
Okay.
Right? That's all it is. So for your testing, it does not really impact. You just pick one. What is available, what is that you need to integrate. Okay, so now I'm going to click on expand add. I see request 1 already there. So I'm going to double click there, see what it is. So here, if I see it, I don't know whether you guys can read it. But as I said, right, there is a header. This is a header, and there is a body. So envelope has a message, right? That's the one we are interested in. And we saw 2 parameters, int A and int B. Now, all you have to do from testing standpoint, you see the question mark here. That would be your test data. So if you are testing the add operation, you are sending 4 plus 5. This is your test data here. So you replace this question mark with the actual values. and this is to run the request.
Run.
So when you click on this green button, it will actually go to the website and submit the request and send you response back, right? Okay, so I'm doing it, right? So it gives me something here on the right side. Now this is a raw view. Raw meaning it's again XML coming back, but I can click on XML. And I can see it nicely. So we saw this add response, right? In the over there, it gives me result of 9. So if you wrote the steps for manual testing, this add operation, then you provide the test data and you see 9. Is your test case passed or failed? It's passed, right? So that's as simple as that.
So we are not doing anything, just put the values, then run.
Well, but you need to understand what you are testing, right?
Yes.
Because understanding what is the logic implemented in the service, that is important. If it's an add operation, we need to understand what it's supposed to do, and you are supplying the input and verifying the output. That's what you are doing. Now here, we all know what is add and what is supposed to do, right? So if I do 4 minus 5, again, you have to wear your QA hat, right? So you want to make sure you test in different scenarios for the service, even though it's a simple service. If I do that, what happens? Okay, I get -1, which is good. What would be another scenario to test it?
-4 plus 5.
Well, 4 plus 5 we already tested, right? It's
No,
a positive scenario.
-4.
Well, you can be doing -1 as well. Well, if you are a QA, what else would you do?
Multiply divide.
Well, multiply is a different operation.
So that is
You can
different.
try no entries, see what's
We
going on.
are only doing the.
So if I don't provide any entry,
No,
Yeah.
okay, and let's see what happens. Okay, it threw me an error. Is it what you were expecting? No. Right? What if I provide X? Right? Now you have to wear your QA hat, come up with the scenario. Okay? Because that's what the important part, okay? This is tool, it is tool.
Hassan is always giving us one.
You have to use your brain, right? Because
Yeah.
people pay you money for that, right? So. I mean, this is a simple thing. I click a button and it does something, but hey, how do I know it's right or wrong, right? That's where you come in picture.
Yeah.
So, so you run through different scenarios, just like your tree, you will also have a tree here. Then you will have steps for each thing. If you are to test it using SOAP UI, how would you test it? You have to write down steps in the DevOps or somewhere using the tool.
So since it's addition, why would it be wrong if I said -4 plus 5?
No, I mean, if that's what your scenario says, yeah, you test it. But then you have to test additional scenario. -4 plus 5, which is fine, yeah. If that scenario might pass, but then the other ones might fail. That means developer did not account for everything. Because your job is to find a bug. Right? And if you are expecting this error message, maybe that's what you do. Right? Because there is no user interface, there is no error prevention. But it should give you some nice error message, hey, what's wrong with it? Not just crash the system. Right? Here it's crashing it and I don't know, I can't even read it. No, what it is, right? Says a user-friendly message is not given. So you have a discussion with developer, maybe they will send you, they will validate what you are sending. If it's A, then they will send you response back, hey, please enter number. Instead of throwing you this bad invalid message or something like that.
So if you're getting a bug here, then how it will work? Like how do?
You create a bug in DevOps
Oh,
for the service.
oh, you have to do it in DevOps.
Yeah, everything is in the DevOps. Those bug creation, assignment, this is just a tool to help you test the web service.
Okay.
But you have to document your steps in the DevOps and everywhere. Yeah, execute over it. Okay.
Here we just have to test it and everything goes over there.
This is part of the testing. Right? This is the testing when you actually do testing, that's where it comes in the picture. But the planning process, you are designing your test case in the DevOps.
So does it have any feature like I don't want to put the input. It should take the input from somewhere and 2-3 scenario at a time it will test. Does this tool do it?
Well, the tool doesn't do anything. You have to tell the tool to do it, right?
Uh-huh.
So tool just doesn't do anything, right? Whatever number you put in, it will just say, hey, I'm gonna execute what you have. That's it.
I just want to know, does it have any facility of, if we can provide some kind of 3-4 datas, like it will take the first data A and B, and then it will, provide you the output. And again, it will take, I don't have to, put again and again the input somewhere, like in a file or somewhere I can store, and, it will pick it up from there, some kind of thing like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can always write a script.
Yeah, the script will allow you to like just define multiple requests and then get response for each of the requests. Because think about it, right? The notion you have to do it. If you run 10, and if one of them fails, you want to know which one failed too. Right? So it's not just looping it, making sure you capture each response and do uptake. So there are a whole bunch of additional scripting that you can write on top of this that allows you to do those things.
Okay.
That's the automation.
The scripting will be on what, how do we write that?
That's what Herschel said. It's kind of automation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the automation comes in the picture. Okay, you can read it from file and run it 10 times or 50 times. Who cares? It's a tool. It will run your script that many number of times. Okay, but this is still manual testing. There is no automation here. Okay, this is still manual.
We're still on the first step.
You have to take baby steps, right?
Yeah.
All right, any question on the process here? Okay. So this is the SOAP-based service. So, right? Let me talk about the REST service, so the difference, and then I'll let you guys practice here. Okay.
So are you doing another project or the same one we're going to do?
You can add it here or create a REST base, but I'm going to show you on the Postman different tool, because that tool is designed for REST-based services. As I said, I mean, SOAP UI name itself comes from the SOAP-based service testing, and they added the REST, and I don't like it here. I generally use Postman for testing the REST services because that's not friendly. Now, if you want to test the SOAP server-based service in the Postman, you have to, again, it's not a friendly tool.
Which one?
Postman.
Oh.
The second tool, you can't do this easily, the SOAP-based service. If you are testing the SOAP-based service, I would suggest you use the SOAP UI. If you are testing the REST-based service, use the Postman.
Oh,
Okay. Because these tools have some limitations. It's not user-friendly.
Should we create
So,
this project?
So how would you know which tool you're using from across?
Because you will know the service, right? Because they will tell you, developers will have a design document, they will say it's a REST or SOAP-based service. Depending on that, you will use either tool. All right, so let's take a look at quickly. REST-based service. So what I'm gonna do is, so you need a URL no matter what, all the services, okay? Now I'm going to fire up Postman. Again, if you open for first time, let's see, because I just installed as well. Okay, good. Now here, again, you have the APIs. There are various things here, right? Environments, mock server. I would ignore pretty much everything because all your focus is testing the service. Okay. So let's come back here. Okay, so this is taking me to the home page. All right, so file new. So get familiar with these tools, right? Play around with it. Nothing you can do wrong with these tools. But file new, this is what I'm interested, create a new something. New. It's done. Okay. They have changed bunch of things here. Let's see. So let's see if I can create a request here. All right. So when you do new, right, from the workspace, looks like they have added workspace concept here, but new, right? So I need to know my URL because the REST-based services has a URL, simple plain URL. Okay, so let me come back here to the rest to the browser. So this would be something like this. Okay, REST-based service URL will be something like this. So let's come back. So I'm going to paste the URL. Okay. Now, generally, they will provide you documentation as well. Okay, the developers will have some type of documentation you can read through how to call the service. Okay, and so forth. Now, there are a couple of things I want you to understand.
So it's just a random URL.
No, it's not a random URL. This is where my service is hosted.
Oh,
This is where my service is hosted. And they will, do you guys understand the parameters? Let me talk about that, because this one, you will need the service parameters. So come back here. So there is additional concept. Okay. So I want you to understand that. Here, this service, right? You don't have anything after ASMX, right? There is nothing over there. Okay, so but let me make sure you understand this part before we actually do the testing. See if I can. Then let me talk about this. Okay, I'm just showing you here. So generally, after the URL, that you will have some type of parameters that you need to pass for the REST-based services, not the SOAP-based. So what I mean by that, generally you will see like a query parameter. Okay, that's the most common parameters that you will see. So what I mean by query parameter, let's see if I have an example. So after the URL, you will see some question mark and then some name and value. Okay, name and value. Now, if I have more than one parameter that I'm sending in, so kind of like in our example that we were talking about add operation, right? So if it's created as a REST-based service, then I would say int A equals 3 and int B equals 4. And then, so it will be added after the URL right there. Okay. So these are the parameters. This is how you can send it to the service when you put it in the URL. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So right now I don't have any parameters specified here, but I can easily add those parameters here. So let's go back. So what this thing says here. So now I'm going to change the URL. Okay. So it says here, this is the parameter I'm querying on. So it says country equals India, right? So I'm supposed to get list of all the universities in India. So this is my query parameter. Anything after question mark, these are your query parameters. And generally in the tool, it is added as the parameters section right there. Okay. So there are different things right below the URL, right? This is the parameter section. So you will have country and here India. So if I change it here to United States, that would be US, or I can say Nigeria. So this service returns me list of universities depending on whatever parameter I am passing. In the SOAP UI, what were you doing? In the SOAP XML, because it works on XML based thing. Okay, so this services works differently. It's a REST based service. Okay, so you have to send in either parameters or send some other way. All right, so let me change it back. It is for India. Now, how do I call it? I simply send it. As simple as that. But you need to know these details, and these details will be provided to you in the document from the developers. Okay, they will tell you if you see what are the parameters and so forth. In the SOAP-based service, you have a visual document that tells you everything. Here, you don't have this. Okay, that's the bad part on the service. So somebody is to get you something, maybe a Swagger document, some digital document. They can give you where you can check out the information on the REST-based services. Okay, so if I send it testing wise, if I send it, and I'm getting the list of universities here, which is in India basically, and so what are you verifying? So you are verifying the list of universities. Am I missing anything? Is it all inclusive list for the universities and so forth? Okay. Now again, what type of document is this? Can you?
Yes, sir.
Mr. JSON.
Yes, sir.
Right? It has domains, ac.in, alpha 2 code, India, right? It's a country is India, web page is whatever the university web page, then the name of the university and state, Dehradun, right? Then it repeats. So it's an array of all the universities information that's coming back. And this, how you can verify? If you know the list, these are the only universities,
Yeah,
then
it's
you have to
true.
go through one by one.
Yeah.
And looks like how many are there? 9,681 lines, right?
Yeah.
So it might take you all day to see. So if I send in the United States, right? United States, let's see what I get.
Yeah.
Now again, what parameters you need to pass in, right? Because if I send in United States, it doesn't return me anything.
USA.
Maybe you need to verify, work with them and say, oh, what are the acceptable values for whatever the countries that you're supposed to return back. Okay, so if I type in something like this, United Space States, then it returns. Okay, again, they have 52,000, right? So you need to understand how the service is built and what is supposed to return you. Okay. So this services work a little bit differently than the SOAP UI. Now here, there are few things here I need you to get familiar with. So this is the get operation. Get meaning you are reading the information. But what are the other operations we can potentially have? So what are the things you can do? We talked yesterday, right? Correct, right? Create, read, update, delete. Generally, the SOAP-based and both services, they support. I would suggest you guys put on mute. So it supports 4 different operations, bare minimum. Okay, so get is for reading the information. That's what we are doing. We are sending the query in, we are reading it. Post meaning we are creating something new. So you can create actually new record. If you send the proper JSON, you can create the, and if the service supports it, then you can call that post operation. Put meaning you are updating the information, and delete is you are deleting the information. Okay, so this REST-based service supports all 4 CRUD operations. But you have to call it a little bit differently. Post means you are posting the data. Put meaning again, you are posting the information, but then it updates the existing information. And delete means delete.
There is a patch.
Patch and other things are not
Oh, okay.
operations.
Okay.
They are different things.
Oh.
But get, post. And most common one is get, because that's what you're gonna be doing mainly, but if I'm a developer, I will be working on get, post. If I'm writing the service, I will test all four. Okay. And so,
I have one question, like the URL you are providing here, we can do it in the browser too, right?
yes, you can do it in a browser. But if you browser will not show you the nicely formatted results. But sometimes there is no security here, right? We are not asking you to input any authentication stuff. So in the browser, it may not work if you have security and stuff, okay? But I can write this URL in the browser, same thing, and I'm gonna see right here.
Wow.
But it looks ugly, right? So that's the reason you want to use the tool to verify. Now, SOAP-based service, you're not gonna be able to use browser. Okay, you have to use the tool to test it out.
But we can do REST on SOAP UI.
Yeah, you can do REST as well in the SOAP UI.
Can we see how it looks? How it
Yeah,
works?
as I said, I mean, it looks a little bit ugly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Right, it shows here, there's a get here, right? It's the same thing. I see the parameter, my query parameter, if I run it. Okay, it will go and try to grab it here. Again, is there, but when when you are adding the security, authentication stuff, that's where the complexity comes in the picture.
Oh, okay.
But if you are testing the public site, then you can verify, you can run the same thing here.
But it's more clarity over there.
Yeah, yes, I prefer Postman. You need to get familiar with both tools.
Yeah.
Okay, because both are used by different companies. Again, there are other tools are also available, but just stick to a couple of tools that everybody understands. Okay, so this one also you can do it here. Okay, any question? So we talked about parameters, right? Now let me go back here. There are other types as well. So I just want to make sure you guys are. So we talked about query parameters. So query parameters are nothing but after question mark, and you are passing the parameters. Those are called query parameters. Okay. Now,
After the question.
Yeah.
After the
Question after URL.
question after URL, right? Those are query. It's in the header. You can see it right in the query, in the URL, query parameters. Okay, so those are query parameters. That's the most common type. As I said, for the post request, you can actually send in the JSON information. This is the actual. Now, if the service supported, then only you can do it, right? We don't have any service that publicly available that supports this type of things. But you can read upon it. Again, when you come into the project, you might have to test post and put as well. If you have those type of services. So this is most common. Path parameters. What it says is I have this service here, right? And if I send in one, it becomes a path parameter. But again, your service needs to support. Okay. So I can send in 2 and returns me the product information that has a product ID of 2 or 3, something like that. Okay. Right now it's not supporting, so it just returns me a different thing. Okay. All right, so that's all I wanted to cover based for the REST-based service. Okay, at least you can test some basic thing, and again, this topic is a big topic. You can read upon it, post how the post works. If you find any service, then you can test it. But unfortunately, I did not find any publicly available where I can use the put or post and delete for the service.
So, sir, for Postman, we need a website. Anything we can take, or
No, it's just so those services, so I have few services I'm gonna send you in the
Yeah,
email,
that will be great.
right? So this one is for list
Yeah.
of universities by country.
Mm.
There is a flight service.
Oh, you already
Which
said
is-
that, no?
Now I'm gonna send you.
Oh,
I have not sent it, but I like you guys to try it.
Okay.
There is a TV series information. Okay, so what this one is. So let's come back.
New, yeah, how to.
I'm
create
gonna
new-
just going to go and do new,
new.
okay. And it will give me, it says HTTP request.
Mhm.
This is HTTP request, right? This is all it is, and I'm going to paste it. Again, it's a query parameter, Q equals sopranos. If what's the TV series that you guys watch? Anything?
Friends.
Friends.
Friends? Okay, Q equals friends. We know that's TV series in there. If I send it, then it sends me the information about when it was there, bunch of information. What's the official site, when it was on NBC. And then 6 young people from New York City, that sends you description, all about that particular, basically series. Right, so it queries the information about the city. Now, if you are testing this web service, you need to know what data is supposed to come out, is it correct? Is it pulling the right information? And so forth, right? Looks like it has some images as well, some videos, all different kind of things.
So what is this pretty raw review?
Oh, yeah, so raw meaning, if I change it, so it's showing you this ugly thing, right? Does not format.
Or like a rough, for you can say.
Yeah, it's a whatever, so the same output, I can see it in the browser. If I put the same thing here. I see without format. That's why the tools are helpful, right? It's you can make it pretty,
Oh.
so you see it in nice format. Preview, visualize, well, we don't have anything for here, preview. Well,
It will
again,
say-
preview meaning, they'll see some type of data.
Now
Not
it
a
makes
line.
sense why it's written pretty. It
How
looks
many?
like
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah.
Compared to raw. and preview.
Yep. So. So I'm gonna send you that as well. You can play around with that service. Let's see what else. But here's what I want you to do. Okay, not just randomly play around. For the SOAP-based service, the division. Okay, I'm gonna send you the URL. You write your test case as well. Come up with that tree first. And write the one detailed test case, right here,
Same addition, test case.
the division.
Division.
I want you to write for division. Write the test case on the notepad and we'll talk here. See what you got, but make sure you have a tree first and then pick one from there.
That calculator one, right?
Yes, calculator. Yep. And then I'll have a bunch of few other services as well. So I'm gonna send you all that and see if you can test out. You guys know temperature conversion,
Yeah.
right? Number conversion, text casing. I like you guys to play with that, those services. Okay, so I'm sending you right now in the email. REST-based service, you can test it out in Postman. See if you can get temperature.
Same thing with over here and the Postman, right?
Yes, just Postman. REST-based service, just use Postman. SOAP-based service, you have to use because same thing, if I want to configure in Postman, it just takes some time. It's not that easy. Okay, so let me send you right now. Services. All right, I just sent you in the email. So let's spend some time, maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes. But make sure you write the test case and I want to see that tree and the test case. Yes,
Oh, I wanted your help on something
yeah.
supposed to be done.
Cool.
I wasn't able to do this at home, but
I don't think we did that anyway. So don't worry about these things right now because we are on the different topic. Yep.
but I do have this on there.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's all you need.
He's trying to do it on his, but it wouldn't come
Yeah, I
up.
don't know why. And this is not my computer, so. I'm just gonna-
Are you administrator on your machine? That's the only thing, right? If you are not admin, you may not be able to install anything.
Let's just see what's computer or something.
Click on the link that I sent you, right? For the software download.
This
You
one?
don't have a link? Yes, OPUI plus Postman download.
This one? Oh, this one.
First one I think downloaded already.
Yeah, that one.
Try that.
Yeah, let's try that. And scroll down a little bit. Yep.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, not that one?
You go back. Yeah, you download OPO source, OPUI open source.
This
Yeah,
one,
that's
right?
the one. Yeah. That's the link. And you just go install.
This one?
So we need to put that URL only, or we'll do something that Postman. one?
Yeah, URL only. Yeah.
only.
How to use the get is
Get,
the only
yeah.
one you can do right now.
You have to go here, the new software.
Yeah, just play around, right? You cannot do anything wrong. Right. So, yeah. No restroom. There is no restroom. Yeah, today it looks like there's some issue with the water.
Something like that.
Unfortunately, everything is closed here. But you can go to that if you want. I mean, because you're gonna do hands-on, you can go to the Taco Bell or the next door.
There is a.
Yeah,
Yes, next to the.
or Tim Horton or anything like that.
I got a P too.
Yeah, you can just go there and come back. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, we got plenty of time. You're not gonna rush.
Where is it?
So this is top of one.
Like HTTP.
Is everybody good online? It's, for you to take a look at it, right? So any URL, just play around with it, right? And I think calculator, I'm not sure calculator has. As I said, not all services will have. Okay, so this one has something different, format, looking, fill, adds number, divide. Doesn't have description, but you all know. Okay, so let's talk about the scenarios. See what you guys came up with, right? All right, so what are the scenarios here for division? What, tell me the scenarios. Anybody wants to go for it?
What do you mean by scenario?
Because how would you test this operation? What are the different things you're gonna look for as a QA to make sure it works properly? What is it? Okay, so first scenario, input 2 integers. Okay. And what is the expected outcome that you're expecting? Valid result is the second one. Okay, what are you expecting? Negative result, okay, both negative. What are you expecting? Okay, what else?
No, this is the part, like, we can do the operation.
But you tell me all the scenarios that you can think of.
Division by 0.
Okay, division by 0, right? Because this one, what is your expected result? Is it 0?
Error.
Division by should be error, right?
Yeah, it's a internal server error.
Now, if you are dividing 0 by something, yes, you should get 0. Divide 0 by some number, then you should get 0, right? But division by 0, that should be error. Put 2 integers. Now, if I in the 2 integers, if I put 3 divided by 5, what I should expect? Right? So this one you can break down further, right?
Mixed fraction, we convert it.
Valid result, but here you can say that input fractional number or two integers to what is that? Even and odd number, right? I don't know. I'm just putting it even and odd number, even by odd should get valid result, right? Basically fractional. Now, is it going to be possible fractional number? So if I go back to the requirement here, now that's where you need to look at the what is actual. I think it's an integer only. Okay, so you will never get a fractional value back. But you look for it to see what it gives you. Is it if I divide 3 by 2, should I get 1.5 or 2 or 1? So you need to validate that here in this scenario.
So.
You will not get the decimal in the result.
No, you will not, because it's always integer. Right? I know, but is it 1 or 2? If I divide 3 by 2, should I get 1 or should I get 2?
Yeah, if it will be decimal point, if it's more than 5, then it will be round up into 2. Otherwise.
All right, so let's take a look at it, quickly test it, right? See what do we get. Okay, so I'm going to divide. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 divided by 2. Run it. It's giving me 2. I know, so it's rounding up or rounding down?
It's rounding up because.
I know, but that's what you need to discuss out in the
Yeah,
requirement.
it depends on the result.
Yep.
What's the calculation? Depends on that.
Okay.
It's 0.5, then it will go.
So you have to have scenarios to accommodate that. Okay. All right, so what are the steps here? Okay, you guys supposed to pick one scenario and come up with the testing steps.
Yeah, so Harshal, they did this test cases, right? What happens if you don't provide an integer? Are you going to do the testing for that? Right, that should be part of your test cases, all of the negative ones, right? Alphabet or even a double, right? So if you put like 2.0 divided by 1.5, what do you get? Is it allowed? Right, double or real integers.
Fractional.
Yep. So think about it, when you put all this test cases, you need to figure out all the combination to see whether the service is working appropriately or not.
So if I do this, what happens? Right? It's throwing you error. Now, is it what you expect, this type of error, or do you expect some friendly error? Saying, please input integer only type of thing, right? So you need to test for all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different scenarios, even though it's just a division. Simple operation that we all understand logically.
But if you say integer, you can put the alphabets over here.
Well, you say, but there is nobody's preventing you to put it, right? So you as a tester, you have to validate all the possibilities. Even though requirement says you cannot put it.
Yeah. Now remember, like it's that there are two different aspects in this one, right? You may have a requirement with the UI, but if you're using a third-party service, there is no UI, right? That's what you're doing with SOAP UI. It's essentially calling it the service without any UI. So you need to think about all of the possible combination that could be given that you need to validate against it.
In the application, they can prevent you, right? But here, nobody can prevent you for anything, right? There is a validation messages on the flow that says, oh, you please enter number. But here, there is nothing that can tell you. That's why you need to test all this.
I did a number with a special character. I did that.
I'm just saying that these are all possibilities. You need to test. Okay. Now, anybody wrote the detailed test case?
No.
Nobody wrote it?
We were just.
So that will go for your homework then.
So can we do an example of one, like one?
That's why you need to write it first and we can review it. It's a step, right?
Yeah, why would this test case writing would be any different than the test case that you wrote it so far? What Harshal just did it is the tree for you, right? Now think about what is logical steps. If you have to take this first scenario and run it in the SOAP UI, what is the step-by-step instruction you will edit? That's all your step is.
Write it and we'll review on Thursday.
You might go to request one, should we write that one?
Write it in the tool, DevOps, and we can review on Thursday. How about that? Okay, so that since nobody wrote it, I think that will go for the homework. All right, let me see everybody writes it, right? Because I want everybody to write it and we'll review it on.
How we are doing so good.
No, just pick one. If you want to write all, I mean, that's fine. No, just pick this specific one. This is the service and you write the step-by-step instruction to test one of the scenarios.
No, we mean like, at least I mean, like, so what we have in, we're like either the division, pick one of the division. Or
Yeah, one of the. Yeah. No, just division. This is the one.
Okay.
We discussed, right? Yep. But that needs to be written in the tool. DevOps. Okay, so let's move on. Now we got one hour left. I'm just thinking what topic.
Let's start the JIRA.
That is a topic for the day. So yeah, let me do that. Then you can practice at home as well, right? Those things.
It's similar to the Scrum.
Yeah, it's just similar to the Scrum. So let me switch the gear here. Okay. All right, I'm gonna close out everything here. Okay, so there is not much documentation on the JIRA, so I'm gonna walk you through and I will record it, okay? All right, let me make sure. JIRA is the same tool, similar tool as Azure DevOps, right? Where you can create your requirements. You
Michelle, I don't know about others, but it looks like you are kind of, there's some bandwidth issue. Things were frozen.
Yes.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, is it better now?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. So I just searched for JIRA Altacian account, right? And what I'm gonna do is I have created a project for our flow. Okay, and I can grant each of you access to the same project. So you don't have to create that. So let me just go and quickly QA 2021. I'm going to log in quickly. Okay. Give me a second. I'm just trying to find my account here. Oh, maybe a different one. Jan 2021. Okay. Okay, finally I have the right account. Okay, JIRA software is very similar to the DevOps. Okay. Again, depending on the access to the different projects, you're gonna see a bunch of projects here. Okay, but for now, I have one project that I created, and I'm going to log in, access that project. Now, good thing about JIRA is I can add team members up to 20 people. Okay, up to 20 team members. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add you guys here. I think I see the class has few people here. So let me see if I can quickly add you guys here. Okay. So just let me know if I don't have your email here. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull it up here.
Let me just quickly dump this quickly here in a notepad. All right, so first one, who has this email? Is the person here?
I'm here.
You're here? Okay, first one, right? Okay, second one, you, Agarwal, Nitin, I see it. Pankaja is here. How about this one? Is anybody here? Okay, I'm gonna remove it. Okay. How about Jonas Desta? He's not here. Okay. Gonna remove it. Sasmita is here. Ramzi 2K. That's you. Okay. Okay. Solo, you are there. Okay. Seba. She's not here. Okay. Eric, you there? Right. How about this guy? He's not here. All right, I'm gonna see it if we have 20 or something, otherwise we'll give him later on, okay? Okay, Rasmita, you are here. Bonaventure, Sapna, NM Patel.
Here.
Okay, you there, Neil?
Yes.
Okay. Judy.
Yes.
She's not here, right, Elsa? Okay. DDJ Splash. Not here. A lot of people are missing today. I don't know whether they are tired or what. Montaseri is here. Sela. Okay, and Cincy. Okay, so we are missing 6 people from the class. 7. Okay. All right, you guys are lucky, so you get your emails in. All right, so I'm just going to add. I think it should add it. All right, give me a second. Give me maybe 5 minutes, okay? Maybe I do it one by one. Okay, not one by one, but it doesn't like when I paste it. Yeah, we don't have, shouldn't take much time. No, she is not. Okay, so there are a few things here. Again, JIRA software is a different software, so it has a different look and feel than the Azure DevOps. Okay, essentially work remains same. So you have your backlog. Don't worry about it. If you don't get it, we'll figure out a way to get you. Okay.
You said you sent the link.
No, I did not say anything. Forget about it. Forget about it right now. Let's pay attention here. Okay. So in the backlog, same thing. You have product backlog and sprint backlog. Okay. So I can add a bunch of requirements here as part of my issue. I can say create issue. So what is my second requirement? What is the loan calculator requirement? Does anybody remember? All right, so calculate monthly loan payment
Based on
predefined calculation. Can you predefine calculation and loan amount and given loan amount, right? I'm just creating that requirement. What else is our requirement? One more requirement. So I have that here, ability to search lender by lender name.
Dealer can search and view only their credit.
Okay, dealer can search and view only their credit application. Dealer or lender can approve or reject credit application assigned to them. Okay. All right. So four requirements are good enough. Right? Yeah. If you have more test cases, add more. All right. But so these 4 requirements are there. They are part of my sprint. Basically, I created the sprint here and I have 4 requirements here. Okay. So if I go into any of this requirement, how do I add my test case, right? Because that's the important part. So once you log in, you access the sprint backlog. This is your sprint backlog. This is your product backlog. These are other items which are not part of the sprint. Basically, I can have it. So I can have 50 other stories which are not part of my sprint. This is my current sprint, 17th September to 1st October. Right? This is my current sprint, and I have 4 requirements.
Editing it by itself, like the backlog.
No, so what happens is like let me put this here.
There is no story name.
Okay, so these are stories. These are my stories. So assume I have this just added requirements as part of my backlog, right? If I want to pull it into sprint, I can just simply drag and drop and put it in there. Okay. So now I have 2 stories. This is the one more story. I have it. Okay. So this tool has a little bit more flexibility for drag and drop and other things. All right. So my sprint has 4 stories. Okay. Now I can go in there, or let me go into this loan calculator. Okay. And I can see it here on the left side. Now I could have more description, right? Business analyst will add more description and so forth. Okay. So this is more like a backlog view I'm looking at. If I go into my board, I should see those 4 stories as part of my sprint. Okay. Which I can see here. Okay. Because I just added them into my sprint backlog. Now, where do I enter? Where do I create my test cases? That's the important part, right? So here I can open each story. Okay. Again, it's similar to what I saw earlier, and I should be able to add my test cases right from this story here. See if I can add it. Where do I add it? Where do I add it? Okay. So I don't see any place here. Let's see. Where is my test case? All right.
There was some plus sign. Yeah.
This is a close.
No, the three dots.
Here?
No,
there is a way to add it. Now here, in this tool, there is a Zephyr scale, which is a test management tool. Okay. So I can add my test cases directly from here, link it. So let me go there, Zephyr scale, so that you understand what I'm talking about. So it's pulling up here. Okay. So I can create all my test cases from here, new test case, and then link to my story. But there is a way to create it from my board as well. Okay, from the story itself, just like Rflow, you keep on adding more test cases, right? So that's what I'm trying to find out here.
Harshal, just go ahead and open it and see, you say there is a Zephyr scale right there. Try to see it from there, right? So you can create a test case right there.
It just came up here at the bottom, and I can create a new test case. It will take me back to the other screen as well. Okay.
Right, but it will automatically connect it to the story.
It will automatically connect to this particular story.
Yeah.
Other way around, you can go there and then link back to the story.
Right.
Okay, so it took the fire scale, but let's see what it pulls up, right? So it's still loading on my machine.
There
Okay.
you go.
So now you can see here, what is your test case? This is a loan calculator one, right? So ability to calculate monthly loan payment with valid loan amount. Valid loan amount greater than or equal to 0 or greater than 0, right? This is
Yeah.
my scenario. Now I'm creating the different test cases. It's
Harshal,
little,
go ahead and click on traceability.
oh, here, traceability.
Yeah, that's where, see, that's where the connection came in.
So this is where it automatically links because I came from the story to create the test case.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
you can always click on add and you can link it to the story. You're gonna see
There you
can
go.
link story here, basically.
That one is creating it, Harshal. It's creating a new story.
They're creating.
Yeah. But you can always kind of do that way. There you go. Search issue, and then you can add it to it.
Yeah, otherwise you can search it here. But anyway, we'll come back to that. Let me just come here, go back to the details, right?
Right.
This is our scenario. Now here in this tool, you have a precondition step that you can type it in. In the Azure DevOps, you did not have it, right? But here, so this is what is the monthly loan amount. So here, who are you logging in as? Dealer, right? So dealer account, dealer G training exists in the system. This is my precondition. Okay, G training and so forth. Anything else? No precondition, right? Other than that, this guy exists and he has access to the loan calculator. Now, where do I enter my steps? That's where you go to the test scripts and you're gonna see it here. Again, it's no brainer, repeating the same process, what you did, and tool is tool, where you go input, that's all it matters. So log in as G training dealer. Now here, you have test data, you can specify right at the step. You can say G training as username and training as password. What is it? Yeah, so this is a password, training is password, right? G training as a username and this one as password. This is my test data, so it will show up right there. Now, what is your expected result? I am logged in and on dealer homepage. Okay, again, whatever language you write, that works for you. Now I have to click on add step, or you can say do tab. Tab will add a second step as well. Okay, now access loan calculator function. Okay, there is no test data here. I am on loan calculator page. Okay, I'm tabbing, enter 1,000 as a loan amount. Again, you can say enter loan amount and say 1,000 here, it's perfectly fine. Or you can just say enter 1,000 as loan amount. And click calculate. And calculate monthly payment. What is your expected outcome? See 30 as a loan payment, monthly loan payment. Okay, so at this point, I'm done with my test case. I'm going to save it. Okay. All right, and let's go back to our requirement here. So I'm going to board. I'm going to pull up the requirement here. Okay, this is the view I was expecting earlier. It wasn't popping up, but I should see my test case right here, right? So coverage, so I can see one test case listed here. Okay, and you can see the detail. It pops up another, no executions yet, which is fine. But start a new test execution. So again, you can do it right from here, and it will take you for the executing the test case. So again, it pops up another window, who is executing it, blah, 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 all those things. Click on start. there are a bunch of windows here. Okay, so you need to get familiar with the tool, where you execute and how it works and so forth. All right, so now I'm in the execution mode for the test case. And again, you need to follow your own steps. Okay, so you log in, open the browser, log in, you're gonna say pass. Second step, pass. And this one, pass. Again, you are following the steps. So you actually go to the rflown site. There is no automation, right? Still no automation. You are entering the information, following the steps. Let's say you fail the third step. So what is it here? How do I create a defect, right? So there is this icon is for defect here. So let's say when I click on it, it says create an issue, and you create it right there. Right? So this is where, and you make sure you select the issue type as a bug. Okay, issue type as a bug. Okay. Then here, whatever you type in failed as invalid calculation, loan amount display, monthly payment display. Right, and you attach a screenshot, you have everything, or you can copy paste certain things as well. Let me use the snip tool. I'm going to use it, and let's see if again, this part is no brainer, right? I mean, it's the same thing what you are doing, and I'm gonna copy it. Oh, not save it, and see if I can put it. Okay. Yeah. What is it?
It's almost same, but.
It's almost same, right? This software is the same. It's exactly same thing you are doing. And create, and at that point, your test case is done. Okay. Execution is done, basically.
So can we go to the board to see what?
Yeah, we can go to the board. Right, so you don't see it here, but it will be visible in the backlog. Okay, because it says you now, if somebody is working on it, you probably want to put in the same sprint so that they can fix it. Okay, confirm. And if I go on the board, I will see that issue being listed. Now, if the developer says, oh, let me work through it, so you're going to move it to the progress here.
Oh,
And then he will move it to the done once he's done.
and what is that last button over there after the done?
Oh, this one is just the additional status columns. So like, as I said, you can configure everything in the statuses, what done, in progress, put testing, UAT pending, or whatever you want. Right? So this is a UAT column. So I can put it before done, I can put it to the UAT or user acceptance testing. Right? It's just a status is you can configure that you have. Right? I can have a testing. And this defect is in the testing status, right? Yep, right now. Again, process remains same. There is no agile change here, just the tool is different. Does it make sense? Right? It's a no-brainer, right? I mean, this thing, you're gonna take a look at some other tool tomorrow and they exactly same.
The hardest part is the backlog.
Well, that's for the developers. You are not doing that. You are not doing the test. I mean, you are doing testing, but developers are writing code, not you. Have we talked about coding here? No.
Oh.
But again, you are not creating from scratch. Right? Tool is doing it for you. You are inputting, modifying it, and running it. So, all right. So what questions you guys have? Let's talk about it.
We have to download this JIRA software.
No, it's in the cloud. So you should have received the email, right? I granted you access to the same project, so you will be able to see it. and work through at least couple of test cases.
And you can see what I'm doing, right?
Yes, this one I can see.
We'll be logging here.
So you guys want to practice here, see if you can get in the tool,
Yeah.
right? At least sometime, maybe to try, let's see if you can access the tool, right? And make sure you save the URL as well. Otherwise you will forget. So look for the email that I sent you, right? And